Josh Rogin is out front. He's a global opinions columnist at the Washington Post and a CNN contributor. So, Josh, you're reporting that specific administration officials, General Milley, Jake Sullivan, have been trying to get Pelosi to not go for weeks, right? Weeks. And that was before the trip was even publicly reported. So for weeks, they're trying to get her not to go. Then we find out about it. She's pushing ahead with it. What more do you know?
Right. Well, Erin, tonight's headline is that the White House is trying to convince her not to go. It should be that they're still trying to convince her. For several weeks, officials, including Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, Kirk Campbell, the White House top Asia official, Mark Milley, the Joint Chiefs Chairman, John Aquilino, the head of Indo-Pacific Command, have been briefing Pelosi and her staff, laying out intelligence assessments, military operational plans to impress upon her that the risks of her visiting Taiwan at this time are so high that they would have to mount a massive military operation to protect her, which then in turn could be seen as aggressive and spark the crisis that everyone's trying to avoid. Now, everybody agrees that the Chinese government shouldn't be allowed to tell Americans whether or not they can go to Taiwan, lawmakers or anybody, okay? That's a violation of international norms and laws. That's not under dispute. But the Biden administration is saying that there's a risk here. And the Pelosi response is, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. And there's the stalemate. Which branch of government gets to decide on foreign policy when they disagree? And are the Chinese really bluffing? And when the Chinese test our resolve, maybe the best thing is to show resolve. That's what the Pelosi camp would say.
Right. But pretty incredible, right? When the Pentagon tells you we have to mount a massive military operation to protect you, and she goes ahead with it. I mean, then this, they've been working, as you report, Josh, for weeks to get her not to go. And then it all spills into the public in the most undignified way, right? You don't want this ever getting public. And it becomes public because the President of the United States essentially confirms reports of the trip himself and shows that he doesn't, that the administration, it doesn't want her to go. Here's President Biden.
Mr. President, do you think it's a good idea for Speaker Pelosi to travel to Taiwan this summer?
Well, I think that the military thinks it's not a good idea right now, but I don't know what the status of it is.
So, Josh, was that planned that he decided I'm going to come out and say that? The military doesn't think it's a good idea?
I'm assured up and down that was not planned. That was Biden being Biden. And he was being honest, although a little bit incorrect. It's not the military, although there are some military concerns. It's a White House-driven effort. It's run from the White House itself. They're making the policy. They're engaged in a delicate dance with Beijing. They're doing this. They're having this chess game with the Chinese authorities, and they never invited Nancy Pelosi to sit down and make a move, and they don't like the move that she chose, and she doesn't really care about that. And the Chinese, meanwhile, can't believe that the President of the United States can't tell the Speaker of the House not to go to Taiwan, because in their system, the President can tell anybody what to do anytime, and if a lawmaker went to Taiwan against the President's wishes, they would disappear. So there's just miscommunication all over the place, which is creating chaos and increasing the risk. And there was a leak, too. There was a leak to the Financial Times that she was going to go. And Pelosi can't even talk about it because it's a secret trip for a reason, because of the risks, because she wants to arrive without a lot of fanfare so that she can get in and get out before the Chinese have a chance to do something crazy. But the bottom line is that Biden's comments ruined the negotiations at that time and brought this out into public. Yeah. And that has the effect of making the Pelosi team think, oh, well, now we're going to take the hit if we back down. So that makes them even more determined to go than ever before.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You think about, look at history. How many things happen for these sorts of ego reasons on every side. Thank you so much, Josh. And